At the beginning of the movie, the culprit is a robot named Harlan, the first terrorist AI that Dr. Val Shepard create. Although it was created to support humanity, it is a mystery how it managed to corrupt its programming and become hostile. To confront the robots, the CIN was created, which achieved several military triumphs, causing Harlan to flee the planet. 28 years pass, and we see a team of soldiers in an operation that turns out to be an ambush. A robot named Casca kills the soldiers, and although it seems indestructible, the robot ends up captured. We then meet Atlas, the daughter of Harlan's creator, watching General Buff on TV, who tells us that they are still looking for Harlan along with herself, who is now an anti-terrorist agent. There she learns of the capture of Casca, who is a robot working for Harlan. General Buff sends for Atlas, but is questioned by Colonel Banks, who doubts her because of her emotionally unstable personality. But the general trusts her abilities and allows her to interrogate what is left of the captured robot. With his cunning, Atlas deceives Casca and manages to find the location of Harlan, who is hiding on a planet called GR-39 Indignant. The robot who knows Atlas as a child tries to kill her, but a shield prevents it, and it is she who kills him with a chess piece. Atlas asks her to go on the mission to kill Harlan, but the general tells her he wants him live to find out how altered the robot's programming. Knowing Harlan, she warns him that they will all die if they try to capture him. At that, the colonel shows her a new robot that works through a neural link to a human. They claim they are superior to Harlan and also have a squadron of them. An expert on Harlan, the military agrees to let her join the mission. During the trip, we see her looking at a photo with her mom and Harlan. She then gives a talk to the crew in which she warns of the dangers of the planet and of Harlan, who was made smarter than any human, precisely thanks to a neural link. His warning is scary, so the colonel encourages his people and explains to Atlas that they are prepared and are even carrying a nuclear missile. Just then, the ship is attacked and several are killed. Atlas is left hanging, and to save her, the colonel puts her inside a robot, and when he tries to explain what to do, an explosion separates him. While falling, Atlas sees how his team is being annihilated. To make matters worse, the ship is falling right on top of her, but a soldier saves her, and the colonel asks her to use the neural link, but the soldier who saved her is shot down and loses the signal. Because she doesn't link to her robot, Atlas crashes and hits her head. When he wakes up, he calls the others, but no one answers. His robot still works and tells him that a rescue capsule is 98 kilometers away, but he must hurry as he has 22 H of oxygen left. He then walks through the snow while conversing with his robot, who introduces himself as Smith. On the way, she encounters several mission robots, but they have all already been killed. She puts away her necklaces and finds Colonel Banks's ship, but he is not inside. Then she sees a copy of Casca with 5 other enemy soldiers who immediately attack her. Atlas runs dodging the shots but falls into a tornado, and although she manages to get out, she is cornered by the attackers and sees no other option but to shoot them with an ion bomb. Despite the explosion, Casca survives, and when he is ready to shoot her, they both fall into a sinkhole caused by the bomb. The fall fractures her tibia, and the robot instantly operates on her. But since they are underground, she has no choice but to put on the neural link. The bad news is that Casca is also still alive and calls Harlan to warn him that Atlas is still alive, while we see that Alaya has the colonel captured. However, Atlas fails to link to the robot, so the robot asks him to understand why Harlan is giving him an emotional reaction. That's when we learn that he was a brother of his. With the point clarified, the link begins to work, but only at 40%. But he has only 14 H of oxygen left and is still 37 kilometers away from the capsule. On leaving the sinkhole, Casca locates them, but they also see him and make an explosive ambush of which only the robot's head remains, which Atlas does not hesitate to crush. Calculating that Harlan is nearby, Atlas wants to go to mark the location, but the robot assesses that it is better to go to the rescue capsule. Disagreeing, she plans to get out of the robot, but it prevents her by blocking her motor skills. That brings back memories of when Harlan, linked to her mother, caused her mother to shoot herself. Smith sees that she feels guilt for Harlan, but Atlas says nothing, only insists on marking the location so that a future mission will find him. That convinces Smith, and when they arrive near the base, they put a marker on the ground, but Atlas sees that at the base is the mission ship from which they are taking the nuclear bomb. In that, they are attacked by Harlan's soldiers, and Smith is looted while Casca reappears on Earth. The general hears Atlas's message that the ship has been shot down, which alerts him because the nuclear missile in Harlan's hands could destroy half of the Earth. Atlas is taken from Smith and chained to a pillar. There, Harlan appears to her saying that he was waiting for her, that he sees her as similar to his mother whom he loved, and although he also loves her, he will attack humanity to make a purge and start a new world led by the CIA. Atlas realizes that the interrogation of Casca was a plan of Harlan to bring him the bomb, and also to her, knowing the codes that allow to enter the defense system of the Earth, what he needs to launch the bomb to the planet. As she had already obtained a code from the Colonel, she gets the second code from Atlas, whom she leaves tied up to die since she only has 5 minutes of oxygen left, but the Colonel is still alive and gives him his link to call Smith. And although it is difficult, the robot answers him, telling him that he is immobile and that only complete synchronization can free him. However, feeling guilty, Atlas confesses to them that as a child, she felt jealous of Harlan for the attention her mother gave her. She asked him to make her intelligent, and for that, she put on the link and authorized Harlan to take control. Upon linking, Harlan was shocked to see the damage humanity causes to the planet. And while his mother interrupted the link, upon awakening, Harlan changed and made his mother shoot, and although it is not seen, it is assumed that she then shot herself. After the confession, Atlas and Smith finally achieve full synchronization. Smith activates and Atlas enters the cockpit, where he learns he has only one shot left. Unarmed, he grabs pieces of iron to confront Harlan's soldiers, and although he later uses their weapons, they are cornered. To free them, Colonel Banks sacrifices himself by causing an explosion, which allows Atlas to run towards the ship that is about to take off with the bomb, and when they were about to prevent it, Harlan shoots them. The ship begins takeoff, and Atlas plans to shoot it down, but the robot makes him see that it will kill them. Atlas orders Smith to hack the bomb, but there is no time for that. Desperate, Atlas grabs a gun and fires. The ship explodes, but luckily, the bomb was defused just in time. The wreckage of the ship starts to fall on the place, so they run to get to the rescue capsule nearby, but they are met by Harlan, who plans to link up with Atlas to request another ship. The fight begins, and Harlan, with his sword, cuts off Smith's arm and pierces the cabin, causing it to lose oxygen. However, the duo anticipates his attack, leading to Harlan losing one of his arms. Just when it seems they have him under control, Harlan regains his arm and immobilizes Smith by cutting him. Atlas faints, and the robot starts to revive her. Despite hitting Harlan with a full shot, Harlan continues his assault. When Harlan finally turns off Smith, he notices that Atlas has disappeared, and while he looks around the chess piece, he feels the thrust from behind. With no strength left, Harlan crawls away, and Atlas pulls the processor out of his head, with that finally goodbye to the robot brother. Luckily, the robot still works, but seeing that they can't both escape, the robot wants to convert its energy into oxygen so that Atlas can hold out until he is rescued. Then, Atlas recognizes that his problem is not with the AI, but with everyone more connected to the robot. He gives her a small square of coffee and says goodbye to her before shutting down. The rescue team arrives and Atlas returns to Earth, where the general tells him that it will take them years to study Harlan's processor. He also brings her as a gift this plant made from the material of their link, and she thanks him for believing in her. And at the end, we see that Atlas has made a new robot to which he now links without complexes. And when he asks the name to his new partner, he just tells him, and this, ends the movie.